The median American home costs $398,000 right now. The median American household earns $86,000 a year. Most people hear those numbers and assume the gap is bad. It is worse than that, and the house price is not why. There are four other numbers, and none of them appear on the listing. So I ran the real math at today's actual mortgage rate, not a rounded figure and not a rate from 18 months ago. Every assumption goes on screen so you can argue with it. By the end, you will know the income and cash you actually need, and the one number that decides almost everything, which is not the price. Here is what we are working with, starting with the price. Median home price, $398,000 as of right now. 30-year fixed rate, 6.58%, the highest since August 2025. Property tax at the national average, 0.9% of the home's value. Homeowners insurance at the national average, $2,543 every year. Let's start with the traditional move, 20% down. That is $79600 in cash before you make a single payment. That is cash you hand over and never see again. That leaves a loan of $318,400. Principal and interest come to $2,029 a month. That is the number every mortgage calculator online shows you. It is also nowhere close to what you actually pay. Add property tax, and that is $298 a month. Add insurance, and that is another $212 a month. Your real monthly payment is $2,540, not $2,029. That is $511 extra dollars every single month. That works out to roughly $6,000 a year. Over 30 years, that is $180,000. None of that ever appeared in the listing price. Now apply the rule that lenders actually use. Housing should be about 30% of your gross income. At 30%, you need to earn about $1,01500. At the stricter 28% rule, you need about $1,08800. Redfin publishes 111,000 using slightly different assumptions, so call it somewhere between $102,000 and $111,000. I am telling you the spread because the honest number has 1. Either way, the conclusion does not change at all, because median household income is $86,185. That is a gap of roughly $25,000 a year. So here is where almost everyone's brain goes next. Just put less money down and the problem goes away. Watch very closely what actually happens when you do that. 10% down cuts your cash needed to $398,000. That is genuine relief, and I am not going to pretend otherwise. But your loan is bigger, and now you're paying mortgage insurance. Your monthly payment jumps to $2,958, and the income you need climbs to $118,000. 5% down pushes that payment to $3,093. Now you need to earn nearly $124,000. FHA at 3.5% down means $3,134 a month, and the income required tops out around $125,000. So look at what that trade actually did to you. You saved $65,000 in upfront cash, which is real, and you raised the income you need by $24,000 every year for the next 30 years without a break. That is a trade, not a shortcut, and it gets sold as one constantly. Now here is the number I actually want you to remember. On that $318,000 loan, you will pay $730,543. Over 30 years, that is what leaves your bank account. And $412,143 of that is pure interest. Sit with that for a second, because it is genuinely absurd. The interest costs more than the entire house did. That is 104% of the purchase price paid to the bank. And that number is almost entirely a function of the rate. That same loan at 3% would be $1,342 monthly. Today, that exact same loan is $2,029 monthly. That is $687 a month from the rate alone. Same house, same buyer, same everything, the rate did that. So let's flip the whole question around instead. If you earn the median $86,000, what can you actually buy? 30% of that income is $2,155 a month. With taxes and insurance included, that buys about $332,000. That is $66,000 short of the median home. And you would still need tens of thousands in cash to close. So how long does saving that down payment actually take? At $500 a month, it takes over 13 years. At $1,000 a month, it takes about 6.5 years. At $1,500 a month, which is a lot, it still takes 4.4 years. And during all of that, the house price is moving too. So can you afford the average American home on a median income? Honestly, no, not this home, not right now, not alone. But that headline number is hiding something important from you. Almost nobody actually lives at the national median. Buying actually beats renting in 58% of US counties. In Ohio, Iowa, Indiana, and Michigan, this math comes out completely differently. So the honest answer is not that you cannot afford a house. It is that you cannot afford this house in this market at this rate. Those are different problems, and only one is solved by moving. Rates move weekly, so rerun this math with whatever rate you see today. So what mortgage rate did you actually get? Drop it in the comments, and subscribe for more breakdowns like this.